I have a question for you. What would you do if tomorrow when you open your bank account, you see that all of a sudden you have $1 million in your bank account? You call the bank and they say, yeah, it's yours. Don't ask any questions. It's yours to do with it whatever you want. What would you do then? One of the significant milestones that everyone wants to achieve, me included, is to have over $1 million in the bank account. And yes, I know there is the effect of inflation right now, and $1 million today is not what it used to be 10 years ago, but still it's a significant amount of money. And it's not about the number itself, it's what it represents. It represents security, it represents freedom, and it represents lots of opportunities. When I came to Canada about 24 years ago as an immigrant, I had nothing. I had no money, no connection, no education. But guess what? I had a head full of dreams and ambitions. I was determined to be successful economically and socially. I wanted to be part of a community. And I think I have achieved that in a certain way. I was then and I am still now a big optimist. I think that anything that you set your mind to, you can achieve it. Now that I mentioned optimism, I also would like to mention that people who are pessimists, they always sound so smart. They can see an idea and they can see all the shortcomings, all the reasons why this idea or project should not work. But guess what? The world has been built by optimists, people that in spite of their circumstances have built things and created things and made things come true that no one thought they would be possible. One of my first financial goals was to become a millionaire. But guess what? Along the process of becoming a millionaire, I discovered that I really didn't need to become a millionaire in order to feel fulfilled and happy with my life. So that was no longer a priority. Recently, however, something has happened in my life that have brought back that refocus, that idea of becoming a millionaire. The building where I have been living for the past 10 years, it was sold recently, and the new owners, well, they evaluated who are the people who are paying the least amount of money, the less rent, and that happens to be me and my neighbor Cheryl. And guess what? So they have found an excuse to ask us to leave. So we had to leave. So I started looking for new apartments, particularly around this neighborhood, because I enjoy living here. And first of all, I realized how lucky I have been to be living in a place that I like and to pay a low rent. But that is not the reality anymore. Housing costs have increased all around Canada and the United States, and now we have to pay a lot more. For the same amount of money that I'm paying here, what is available is crap, it's horrible, okay? So then I realized that in order to maintain the same standard of living that I have right now, I had to start thinking about earning a lot more money. So that's where I am right now. So in my mental exercises, I asked myself, what would I do if I all of a sudden had $1 million? How would I spend that money? And here, this is what I came with. So the kind of apartment that I need is what is called a 3.5. A 3.5 in Canada is 1 bedroom, 1 living room, and 1 kitchen and 1 bathroom. So I guess the bathroom is the half and the other things are the 1 okay? So in order to find something that I like that meets those criteria, the price will be, if I want to buy, it will be about $400,000. So if I have $1 million, I will take right away $400,000 and buy me an apartment in this neighborhood, Le Plateau, where I live, and an apartment that is nice. And $400,000 can do that. And then that will leave me with $600,000. What would I do with that? Well, my my favorite investment is the Standard & Poor's 500, which is the 500 biggest companies in the United States. So I will put all those $600,000 there in the Standard & Poor's 500, $400,000 in my new condominium. And what would this $600,000 do? Well, if the stock market grows over 6% per year, which actually has been growing at 8 or 10%, but to keep it conservative, if it grows about 6% per year, that's $36,000. That's the equivalent of about $3,000 per month, which would be enough for my living expenses, considering that housing is already taken care of because I bought this $400,000 apartment. So, I am really not asking for much. My wishes are not to have a fancy car. They are not to have brand name clothing. They are not to eat at 5-star restaurants. None of that. My ambition is to live in a decent place, not too fancy, but clean and nice, and to have my basic cost of living covered, such as food, heat, and internet services. And I will be, with that $1 million, will solve all my problems. So following the same mental exercise, I asked myself, what would other people do with $1 million? And I came up with some what I consider to be smart or appropriate answers. So number one, I think a typical reaction would be to gain financial independence. So if you take $1 million and you put it in the market and you put to work something that we call the 4% rule, which is to withdraw the equivalent of 4% of your assets every year, that would be about $40,000 per year, which is not a lot, but it's significant. It's significant. It allows you to cruise, to not stress about rent or food or whatever. And I think a lot of people will opt for that solution. Financial independence is very big. Another thing, a lot of people talk about real estate investing. And personally, I don't like real estate investing. I consider it to be a difficult job with a lot of responsibility and not a big payout. But if I was in the mindset of doing real estate investing, this is a possibility, okay? So $1 million, if you give 20% down payment on 5 properties that are each of them worth $1 million, now you have multiplied your $1 million for $5 million, okay? And then, of course, you are only giving 20% down payment, so you still owe the bank the other 80%, right? But, obviously, or hopefully, you find some property that are cash flow positive, that you will pay all your expenses and still have a little bit of money left over for you to live on. And I think a lot of people will be seduced by this idea of real estate investing. Another thing is, let's say that you have all your financial need covered. Let's say, imagine that you have a pension and that it covers your living expenses. Okay, so a good idea would be just to travel the world in luxury. Okay, so you go to Thailand, go to Europe, go to South America, go into first class airplane tickets, and go into 4-star hotels and eat at 5-star restaurants, and do that until you get tired of it or until the money runs out. And then finally, giving back to the community. For some people, the biggest joy in life is just to give back, to help others. And there are so many causes in our society that needs your help. There are causes related to health, causes related to education, causes related to the environment, causes related to affirmative action or social justice. So whatever you are into, you can find a cause that needs your money, that needs your help, and that will give a lot of joy to the person who has everything. The gift of giving is perhaps the biggest gift of all. Of course, that was my imagination speaking. Instead of letting my imagination run wild, I decided to ask some of my friends, what would they do if they had $1 million? So first of all, I asked my neighbor and good friend Cheryl, and she is in the same situation as me. She's also been asked to lease this building where she has been living for 20 years, and she came up basically with the same answer that I came with, which would be to buy a nice apartment in this area and invest the rest. I also asked my friend Rania. She is an amazing girl from Morocco, and she says that she will also buy a condominium, a property here in Montreal. She will also buy a property for her parents in Morocco, and she loves Spain. She spent a few years of her life in Spain, and she says she will also buy a property in Spain. So she will buy 3 properties with her $1 million. And I asked a friend of mine from Colombia, his name is Fernan, and he is very concerned about his parents. So he said that the first thing he will do is he will buy a property for his parents. He probably will spend $500,000 in a nice property for his parents so they can retire and live in a nice place. And then the other $500,000 he will use it to invest as well. And then I asked my friend Lynn Sock, who is a financial advisor, what would she do with a $1 million? And she has some business idea. She wants to create this business that it will become, it will go from $1 million to $100 million. I'm excited. I will be excited to see how she can grow money like that. And alternatively, she will build community housing, because there is a lot of people who need housing. They're desperately in need of housing right here in Montreal. So that's it. This is how my friends will spend the $1 million. Now my question is to you. How, if you have $1 million, this is the question that we started this episode with, what will you do? Will you spend it in yourself? Will you give it away? Will you invest it? Will you educate yourself? What are the things that you would do with $1 million? Please let me know in the comments, and I'm just so eager to know your answer. Finally, this video has been sponsored by my new book, The Wealth Paradox: Navigating Money, Free Will, and Success, which is available right now on Amazon. So I will be so grateful if you get a copy, check it out, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for listening, and until soon. Peace.